Most respected dear family members, my pranams to you. For the last few days, we were discussing about the messages given in Vedas meant for elevating our mind from bad to good, from darkness to light, and from silly simple things to permanent peace. After that we discussed about the great epic Adi Kavya written by Maharshi Valmiki. About 24,000 shlokas are there. From Valmiki Ramayana we have to take the experiences of each characters, each players, each historical figures, their experiences in the life and every event given in Ramayana, plus the messages given by the players in Ramayana. Like Sri Rama gives the messages and advice and guidance and directions to Bharata, also to Vibhishana, also to Lakshmana, and so on. And when we discussed about Mahabharata, 1,25,000 slokas, the experiences of Pandavas, Kauravas, and all those who are connected with them directly and indirectly, that can be extrapolated to our life. If I would have been in the place of Bhishma, if I would have been in the place of Kundi or Gandhari or Dhritarashtra or Dharmaputra or Shakuni, what would have happened to me? Instead of my experiencing it directly, I can take the experience of others and extrapolate for my behavior. In Mahabharata we have got experiences and events, plus the messages are there, hundreds and thousands of messages given by Bhishma, known as Bhishmopadesham, given by Krishna as Bhagavad Gita, again Krishna to Uddhava as Uddhava Gita, the messages given by Vidura to Dhritarashtra as Viduropadesham, and so on. So in Mahabharata we have got experiences, we have got messages, and for convincing the people whom they are giving the messages, they used to give the stories also in Mahabharata. So all the three are there in Mahabharata. Variety of stories connected with the lion, connected with the owl, connected with the jackal, connected with the fox. Animal related stories just like Panchatantra are given in Mahabharata exclusively for convincing the Pandavas, Kauravas and related players about the messages. Now we will come to the last point, Puranas. 18 Puranas are there and also 18 Upapuranas are there. Whenever the level of understanding of an individual is low, whenever the academic qualification, all the knowledge existing with him is not the level of taking the messages, not up to the level of taking the experiences of others, naturally, just like we convey the messages through stories to children and students. Puranas give the stories. Puranas primarily focus on stories, but through stories, messages are given and experiences are given. The only thing we should remember in Puranas that majority of the explanations given in Puranas are not connected with the history. Majority of the experiences given in Mahabharata are connected with the history. Ramayana is also connected with the history. But Purana, there are many parts which are connected with history. Even UGC has taken many parts from Bhagavatam for writing the ancient Indian history. So historical facts are also there in Puranas, but major part of Purana include the storytelling. So we should never try to argue and convince others by saying that Puranas are histories. We do not know whether historical facts existed during then, what is explained in Bhagavata or other Purana. But we were very specifically informed that many of the stories you cannot scientifically, logically and rationally explain the stories. It has been written in such a way that you should not try to explain it scientifically, because they are stories only. To the stories, if you put science, either science will get diluted or story will get misinterpreted. So our aim is to take the story from Purana as story, and after learning or after studying or after listening the story, keep away the story and take the message only from that. So if the story of lion and rabbit is given in a Purana, do not ask the question which language the lion was speaking and where it happened and during which period it happened. The lion and rabbit were discussing about another lion in the forest. That's a story. There is no question of lion speaking in a particular language or the rabbit standing in front of lion and asking for apology or like that. It is a story. There is no question at all in stories. Questions do not come. So, but the thing is that the stories are given to you for conveying a message in the sweetest form, because everyone in the world, whether he is a senior man or a junior man, whether he is an ordinary man or a scholarly man, everyone in this world likes stories very much. So conveying the messages through the stories are very easy, and you can interpret it and you can explain it, you can narrate it, and you can even exaggerate it, because depending upon the listener you can put the story in different ways, but depending upon the listener you cannot distort history. So stories are given in 18 Puranas and 18 Upapuranas. Remember, whether it is the story of Narasimhamurti in Bhagavatam or whether it is the story of Dhruva going for conducting tapas in the forest, or whether it is the story of Jadabharata or Ambarisha, or whether it is the story of Devahudi, any story, part of story, consider it as a story. And even if you are considering it as a history, there is no merit is going to be elucidated from that. It cannot become meritorious. What we want to get, as Sri Sri Ravi Shankar said, every Puranic stories are just a fruit covered with its skin, and remove skin and take the fruit. Mata Mridanandamayi used to tell stories only point the finger towards the message. Stories are just for pointing the messages. If you hold this finger, you will not get anything. If I am pointing to you that the fruits are there in that tree, for getting the fruits, if you are holding this finger, you will not get it. So Puranic stories are just like pointing fingers. The stories only point the message, and if you hold only on the stories, you will not get the message. So every Purana, if you are reading that should be analyzed scientifically, logically and rationally for only getting the message. And through the stories, sometimes experiences of people are also given. Say for example, Ambarisha's story is there, where it is purely a story, but Ambarisha was a king. So the king's experiences are given through the Ambarisha story. And in Ambarisha story, you can see the rishis are playing in a negative way. You can see some of the rishis are getting angry, excited, and the result of that anger, they will be suffering of their own in their life. So you can see, if the story players convey the messages other than story, that will be their experiences. So from Puranas you can get the experiences of the story players. Prahlada and Hiranyakashipu is there. It is a story. Hiranyakashipu got a boon that he will not be killed under any condition. But Narasimhamurthy came out from a pillar and killed Hiranyakashipu. The question that, can Narasimhamurthy come from a pillar, from a concrete pillar? Impossible. But it is a story. It's a story so that you can take the message. Anyone in this world, whether it is Osama bin Laden or Pol Pot or Saddam Hussein or Gaddafi, who thought that there is no death for them. They thought that they are born for killing others and terrorism and spreading Islam. But a day came, whether it is through America or through other country, Osama bin Laden was killed, Saddam Hussein was hanged, and Gaddafi was broken into pieces or butchered and put in the beef stall. So you can see, Hiranyakashipu thought that nobody will be killing me. These people also thought that nobody will be killing them. But the nature has got its own tool to control the negatives. That is the story what we are learning from Hiranyakashipu. But another story connected with that, directly linked with that, is Prahlada's story. Prahlada, even though his father was so negative, cruel and terrific, he never deviated from the principle of dharmic life. So whether your father is bad, your father is cruel, you can be very dharmic in the life. This is the story. But Suniti and Surichi's story in Bhagavata gives an explanation that we should aim at higher level, not at lower level. We should always focus on higher level. That is what Dhruva did. Instead of sitting on the lap of the father, he was instructed, guided by his mother, to go to the forest and get Ishvara Sakshatkar, realization of the God. He went there at the young age and he could elevate his mind and himself to a very higher position through Tapascharya. So that story gives that. You know, Devahudi was 80 years of age when she told her son Kapila Maharshi to teach her about Shad Darshana. Devahudi informed, requested and blessed her son Kapila Maharshi by saying that you should teach me Shad Darshana, Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa, Nyaya Shastra, Vaisheshika, Yoga and so on. The son never hesitated. Kapila Maharshi started teaching everything to his mother Devahudi. So we think that when we are becoming 60 or 65, the age is over, we cannot study anything, we cannot read Vedas, we cannot read Mahabharata or Ramayana, we are old age. But remember, at the age of 80, Devahudi requested her son to guide her in Shad Darshana, which is the most complicated subject in Hindu Dharma. But Kapila Maharshi could teach his mother. He never said that when you are 80 years of age and you are going to the last breath and you need not study anything about Shad Darshana. Now he taught everything to his mother, and that was been put in the Mahabhagavata. And now we get that information, Shad Darshana, through Mahabhagavata in the simplest possible way, as narrated by the son to the mother, old age mother, who is practically illiterate. Devahudi was practically illiterate. But Kapila Maharshi was Siddhanam Kapilo Munihi, is a divine figure. When the qualification of Kapila Maharshi is beyond PhD and the qualification of his mother is far below nursery, Even a scholarly man can teach everything to his ignorant mother, illiterate mother. That is also possible. It is a message given through a story. Whether it is a historical fact or not, we do not know. Even if it is a historical fact, no merit is going to be further added to that. So every Purana, remember that, every Purana and every Puranic story has got an ultimate aim of conveying you the messages through stories, the experiences through stories, and also directly stories. Directly stories, through story the experiences, through story the guidances and other things. What is the difference between Mahabharata and Purana? Mahabharata is almost like a historical book. Iti iha asit iti itihasa. Epic is history. Through the historical players, messages are given, experiences are given, and stories are given. So through the historical players. But in Purana, through the story, the experiences and messages and guide and stories are given. Stories are given. Through the stories are given. And these are the very important point what we have to remember. Vedas give us directly the messages. You have to learn that. Minimum 100 messages from Veda in your own language. Through Valmiki Ramayana, you have to learn the experiences of different players and the messages given by them to others or among themselves. Through Mahabharata, is a historical book. The experiences of the historical figures are given and messages are given, and for convincing the messages, stories are given. But in Puranas, stories take the prime role. Through stories, experiences are given, messages are given. And through stories, again stories are also given. How it is possible? Say for example, if you learn about the story of a tortoise and a rabbit, it is a story. But tortoise can also tell another story to the rabbit. So story from the story, just like Kalidasa said, Kusme kusmolpavati sruyate nacha drishyate bhale tava mugamboje netravanti varadvaya. A flower produced from another flower. Flower giving birth to another flower. That is, specifically speaking, it is lotus. Lotus has got one flower, external cover, another flower in the center of that. For a poet, it is the face of a damsel, a girl. Face itself is a flower, eyes are two other flowers. In one flower face, another two flowers eyes are there. Bale tava mugamboje netravandi varadvayam. These are Kalidasa's line. Coming back here to the Purana, stories can come as primary point. Story inside the story can also come. Messages can come in Puranas. Experiences of kings and scholars and poor men, Ajamala and Nachiketas, Vidura, so many things can come. But remember that Bhagavata is a Purana, Mahabharata is a Itihasa. Adhyatma Ramayana is part of Purana, Valmiki Ramayana is Itihasa. So in the Puranic text, exaggerations will be there. We need not take all the exaggerations as science or logical or as history. We have to take the fact from that, truth from that, essence from that, and utilize that for elevating our mind, elevating the health of our body, elevating the family relation within our family circle, elevating the social bondage, and also elevating the dharmic values, plus elevating our motherland, Bharat. Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargada Vigariyasi. Our ultimate aim is elevating the mind, elevating the body, elevating the family relation, elevating the social bondage, and elevating the national integration. As Lord Krishna told in Bhagavad Gita, Uddhared Atmanatmanam. You elevate yourself and all those who are connected with you. Na Atmanam avasadayet. Never denigrate yourself. Atma ivachi Atmano bandhuhu. Remember that you yourself is your closest relative. Atma ivaripurapmana. Also remember that you should not become your own enemy. Generally we ourselves are our closest enemies too. So all these Puranas through stories, all the Itihasas through experiences, and all the Vedas through messages aim at not going to heaven but creating heaven in this world. So we create our heaven here, we create our hell here. So also remember that any of the Hindu literature cannot be compared with the Bible or Quran. Where God is talking, here God is not at all talking. Here Rama and Krishna are not gods. They are incarnations, avataras. A human being with the highest level of divinity in them, avatara. So one fellow or individual trying to compare our Puranas or Itihasas or Vedas with the Bible or Quran, he is committing a crime. I am not telling which is good or which is bad. I am telling that these two cannot be compared at all. One should not compare at all. If you are taking a pure simple novel and telling that it is the history, it is bad. No, a story is only a story. History is a history. There can be historical figures in the stories or some story told by some of the historical figures. That can also be there. But the thing is that those are all the so-called messages written by some people, enlightened people, about the God. Here it is not that. It is mentioned for the human being, by the human being, enlightened human beings given to unenlightened human beings. The messages, the experiences and the stories. With these words, I would like to express my deepest gratitude for listening. So, our fourth part of the message is over. Now we may be thinking of giving these messages in Hindi also. Thank you very much. My pranams to you.